What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back at you with another video. And today I'm going to give my thoughts on Lance Zierlein's mock draft 3.0. So if you guys are new, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, because guess what? I'm not just going to be doing my feedback. I'm going to be continuing this mock draft for a second round. Yes, that is the new norm on the mock series. Does it take a lot more time? Yes, but it also means it's a lot more fun content for you guys, and it keeps it nice and fresh. Another quick announcement is that the 2-year anniversary of Hail Mary Sports is coming up. It has been an absolutely awesome journey, and I'm going to be working on a 7-round mock draft to drop on the second anniversary of the show, because that's awesome. I love it to death, and there's been a change up in the board. So without further ado, let's kick right into this. And I'm actually going to play a quick video right now showing off the website that I just made, because it's been putting up quite a few, in a nutshell, scouting reports. So that's stuff that you guys get to see. It's about 2-minute read. So if you don't want to read 20 minutes into a scouting report, don't want to hear the random mumbo jumbo that the writer as well as you do not fully understand, you'll get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the overall opinion, as well as my grading breakdown. Feel free to check that out. Link in the description below. So let's kick off the draft. Let's just look at the number 1 pick. And so first off, this is where he's projecting players will go, not where they should go. So we'll talk about the fit and everything. Obviously, again, Lance is trying to mock with his ears rather than obviously where he wants to go with them. So let's just think about that the way it is. Travon Walker seems like a smokescreen, though. It really does. I don't really see the upside of the Jaguars going Travon, even though he was misutilized at Georgia. It's a number 1 overall pick. And to be honest, there's just, in my opinion, no reason to go it that way. If you want to take a swing of the bat, you might as well go KT at that point. Aiden Hutchinson's next. Of course, if the board falls this way, that's where Aiden should be going. For time's sake, there's no real need to talk about Aiden Hutchinson. Houston Texans, Evan Neal. Yeah, I love it. I'd be such a huge fan of that. Again, that right tackle spot, even if Titus Howard wants to go back to that spot, he's never going to be of the talent level that Evan Neal is, and he is a true right tackle. That's what I absolutely love. Sauce Gardner at 4. Again, he's my number 1 player in the draft. I am not against it. I do love Sauce Gardner to death. He's been taking meetings with these top 5 teams, and he deserves it. He deserves to be potentially a top 2 pick. I think he could be one of the most elite corners in the NFL. And with the resurgence, or with the absolute surge in the value of a true number 1 wide receiver that could just be game breaking, talking Jamar Chase here, the ability to defend against that is probably becoming more and more valuable as well. I don't think people are talking about that enough. Sauce Gardner is, in my opinion, going to be stepping in as a top 10 corner in the entire NFL. So big fan of Sauce right there. New York Giants, Kayvon Thibodeau. Yeah, I mean, if the board falls this way, ain't no way in hell you're passing up on him. What I'm surprised is, I'm surprised they're not going a quarterback, but I'd be very happy if they go Charles Cross here, because again, you're trying to make that day 1 impact. Sticky Icky would be definitely a very fun option, but I like the way that Lance puts it right here. Cross probably is going to be more game ready. He has a lot more pass reps and a lot more experience overall. And Icky, again, at the beginning of the year, there was questions whether he'd be a guard or a tackle. Finally clicked this year on the college level. Might take a year, if not 2, for him to click in the NFL. Giants thinking Icky is an absolute A+ move. Garrett Wilson to the Falcons. I love him to death. Again, you're getting pieces for the future, and this is a really good cornerstone of an offense to pair up with Kyle Pitts, which is already a cornerstone of an offense. I do love Garrett Wilson with a passion. Seattle Seahawks, Derek Stingley Jr. I do that pick myself. I love it. Same thing with Jermaine Johnson. Like, there's not really much I disagree with apart from that number 1 pick. And honestly, there's nothing really wrong with the number 1 pick apart from the fact that Travon was at number 1. Like, just the value of the pick, not the schematic fit or anything like that. If they're actually dead set at number 1 on going Travon Walker, you bet your ass you better be trading back. Like, hell, I'm sure that the Texans would be on the board. They'd be on the phone calling saying, hey, dude, like, I know you're 800 points up. We have this 13th overall pick. You guys can give us maybe a 2nd rounder, or I don't know. I'm not going to do the math right at the moment, but hey, like, if you guys want these 2 picks, you can move back, get Travon Walker still, and then get another impact player in the 1st round. just hypothesizing here. Regardless, I still think that if you're really sold on him, get the best value, and number one overall. It's not really the best value for Trevon Walker. But yeah, continuing this, Jermaine Johnson would be such a free. I love Jermaine Johnson. He will be turning 24 during the regular season, but I still think he's a damn good player. You know, he's one of my dudes in the middle of the year. And when everybody had him as a second, if not third round player, I had him up there at 16 to the Eagles. I thought it was just a damn good fit. And he exceeded everybody's expectations. And here he is. He's at the top. So I don't have him that high. I think I have 17 on my board, but still, that's also factoring in his upside as a pass rusher, because again, he's a little bit older, a little bit more polished rather than someone you can mold. Do love him though. Jermaine Johnson on the Jets would be a great addition, especially if they want to make a day one impact. Commanders going Drake London. I love it. Again, Carson Wentz, he loves his big possession targets. You look at Alshon Jeffrey, you look at Michael Pittman, these dudes who are size heavy, or like these sizable dudes who have great hands, usually are the type that Carson Wentz prefers. I hope to God, if they really just want to give a shot for Carson Wentz, you go Drake London. People are talking about the JJ Arcega-Whiteside comp. Guys, JJ Arcega-Whiteside couldn't generate separation. He was pretty much, everybody talked about how you could just box out dudes and totally body them. Like, that's not separation. Drake London can generate separation, maybe not to a Mike Evans level. Of course, I'm quoting pretty much the PFF podcasts with that one, but I mean, Drake London would be such a good get for the Commanders. Hamilton for the Vikings is a no-brainer, in my opinion. You're getting a day one impact and a dude who, like, again, with that 40 time, I mean, it allows not for him to be like a worse prospect, but it allows for teams that might be able to utilize him better. Obviously, you've seen how they've been able to utilize Harrison Smith year after year to be able to at least get a shot and give Kyle Hamilton an actual potential to make a big impact on a potential Super Bowl candidate. The Vikings aren't exactly that, but you know, they still have a good enough roster. And I think Kyle Hamilton would be a great addition to it. Then this is a weird one. I don't understand why Devontae Wyatt would go this high. Again, I don't think he's better than Christian Barmore last year. I think he's significantly worse. And that's, again, I have him 24 on my board. Okay, so just so that cat's out of the bag, I'm not trying to totally crap on Devontae Wyatt. I'm saying that if we think that, I know it's like personality concerns, but if Christian Barmore goes the second round, Devontae Wyatt should not be in the top half of the first. I'm not saying he should go to the second round because Barmore should have never done that, but he should be easily second half, if not late second half of the draft. Texans would be making a big mistake for going after Devontae Wyatt. In my opinion, if you want to go D tackle, go at least somebody who's unique in Jordan Davis. It's not like you can get much worse, and Davis gives you the chance to be much better. Now, Baltimore Ravens go Karlaftis. I love him to death. Number 7 player on my board. Really big fan of what Karlaftis can bring, even though he's a funny looking dude, but that's okay. We all have our little things that's wrong with us. Philadelphia Eagles go Trent McDuffie. Great scheme fit. I'm just a bit lower on Trent McDuffie, but I do know this is a predictive mock draft, and the NFL is a lot higher in McDuffie. Malik Willis to the Saints. I just can't think that Malik Willis, given his upside differential compared to other quarterbacks in the class, would end up going this late. But hey, if it happens, it happens. That'd be a great addition by the New Orleans Saints. Chargers go Trevor Penning. At this point, probably what you should be doing. But in my opinion, I think that Chargers could even be trading back to be able to let a team like maybe Green Bay give up one of their second round picks as well to move up here. And then the Chargers can go after Abraham Malukas, who just graded out as a pretty nice 69 grade. If you guys know anything, 70 is the bottom of the second round. So I think that 69, early third, late second, great pickup, day one impact. Trevor Penning's being extremely overhyped, in my opinion. He's number 62 on my board. Abraham Lucas is lower than Trevor Penning, just behind the curtain here. But you know, just the value difference between pick 17 and then maybe pick 52 is a huge difference to get a player, in my opinion, who is not ready day one. Philadelphia Eagles go Treylon Burks. I love it to death. You know, again, I've been saying this a while. That 40 time might just be a blessing for the Philadelphia Eagles more than anything. You could even trade back potentially and still get Treylon Burks. The dude, it was like, you watch the tape, he is way faster than what that 4.55 says. The problem is he takes a long time to get to that speed. Like, if you track his GPS speed, this guy can just totally burn deep. I don't know exactly if that's great for Jalen Hurts, but I still think that his ability after the catch, his ability with how strong his hands are would be a great addition to the Philadelphia Eagles and would be a nice piece to pair up with Quez Watkins as well as Devontae Smith, making a very well-rounded wide receiver core. Jameson Williams to the Saints, an absolute A-plus pick. I would personally cry if the Steelers go Kenny Pickett. I just think if you have a guy like Mitch Trubisky who has a ton of potential, you might as well throw your hat in on another QB with potential. And to me, even if it's in the second round, Sam Howell would be a great addition to this team. And he needs a lot of work, but Trubisky might be a great mentor for that. I'm not a fan of Kenny Pickett. I really don't think he brings much to the Steelers. Again, he's number 41 on my board, and I'm higher on Kenny Pickett apparently than a lot of people. So, that's very intriguing, but I don't think Kenny Pickett has a starting role carved out in the NFL. People are saying it's the Mac Jones type thing. Even Mac Jones was, I thought Mac Jones, if he went to the Patriots, was worth a top 5 pick. It's just like, that's the perfect scheme fit. I don't know exactly if Kenny Pickett, after playing 4 or 5 years in Pittsburgh, is going to bring the championship upside in a division with Lamar Jackson, with Joe Burrow and Deshaun Watson. You have Kenny Pickett. That doesn't upgrade you. That doesn't give you a chance to fight. It just makes no sense to me. I definitely like the idea of Jordan Davis. If you just want to say, screw it, we're going to continue building through the draft. And Jordan Davis is a great guy to do that with. Kenyon Green is a great addition to this team. You also lost out on Shaq Mason, not lost out, traded him away for a 5th round pick, but Kenyon Green would be a great addition, even though I think maybe other players could be a better one. That is A-okay. Packers going Jordan Davis. It's BPA. Honestly, I don't think that Aaron Rodgers would be a fan of that one, but at the same time, I don't know if exactly you would care if you get a unique talent like Davis. Chiefs are trading up with the Arizona Cardinals. Again, Chris Olave, that'll be a great move for the Chiefs. Don't know about the Cardinals, but in the simulator, I traded a 3rd round pick for it, so it wouldn't really affect round 2. Cowboys going Bernard Ryman. Interesting. I'm not a huge fan of Ryman. I don't think he's going to be a day 1 starter. I would rather go Zion Johnson personally or Tyler Smith. I know that I'm higher on him than 99.9% of people. So I get that. I'm just not a huge fan of Ryman to a squad that's needing him to move a position after playing tackle for, I believe, only 2. Elam to the Bills. I love his upside in zone, but he didn't really play much. When you have Andrew Booth on the board, I'm very surprised that that wasn't the scheme fit that was chosen. Titans going Devin Lloyd. For a team that goes linebacker in the 3rd round, it's a little bit tough to think that this would be a predictive pick, but I do like it. Like, on the surface, I do like it. Nothing wrong with it. I would also still look at a guard position there. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Travis Jones. I make that pick myself. I think he could be a legitimate difference maker. Like, replacing Ndamukong Suh with Travis Jones would be a very good long-term move. Packers going Christian Watson. It makes sense. It's MVS 2.0. Then here we go. The Cardinals go Breece Hall. If we see a running back go in the 1st, it better be Breece. I do think that he graded out as like a 77 or a 78, which technically would be in the 1st round category. But for running backs, I drop him a full grade. You have to be pretty much a blue chip to earn a 1st round grade in my book. And you have to be generational to be worthy of a top 15 pick. I think that kind of makes sense. But, Breece Hall could certainly add to what the Cardinals have. And it would kind of be a really nice impact for Kyler Murray to just have like a really nice 1-2 punch there again. 1st round's a little bit rough, but again, Breece Hall to me is head and shoulders the RB1 in this class. Chiefs then go Boye Mafe. It makes sense. It feels like something that Spag would like. Then Bengals go Kyler Gordon over, oh wow, Tyler Linderbaum. Very intriguing. I would never do it myself. I know that they say offensive lines address a free agency. You got to go BPA here, and Kyler Gordon to me is not even close to that. That's just me though. Again, this is a predictive mock, and it fits. It fits. I'll say that. But you got Andrew Booth on the board too. I don't know what's up with the hate with Andrew Booth right now. I don't know if the NFL's lower on Booth, because the Zay Flowers game scared the shit out of me. But it still made me comfortable with him as his own corner, just not in man-to-man versus a speed burner. Then last but not least, the Lions go after Matt Corral, who I've heard has been doing a great job in the interviews, Rep Oaks Christian. Now, let's get right into the mock draft. Let's make sure I swipe the right way. So we are going to be switching to my big board here. Yes, you can see that we still have quite a few very highly rated players on my board, with my favorite pick for the Jaguars being Tyler Linderbaum. You lose out on Brandon Linder, and now you put Linderbaum in there. A+ move for the roster. You're having it's going to be I'm going to pop champagne for that one too. We'll do that one. Number 34, we got the Detroit Lions on the board. I can still look at them going Jahan Dotson here. Lewis Cine. Oh, by the way, guys, I got to move all these safeties up. You know, Jalen Pitre got again, he's slot corner, so I'm not going to put him as high as his grade says. He got a blue chip grade. I think the guy's an absolute baller. I love Jalen Pitre. And I definitely see some Elijah Molden / some Honey Badge in him. Could definitely be a day 2 steal. Even day 1. I wouldn't be too mad if he goes day 1, even at like number 30. But right now, my safety rankings are a little bit different than this. But it goes Lewis Cine after, of course, Kyle Hamilton. Actually, yeah, it goes Hamilton, Cine, well, technically Pitre, but we'll consider that given that Pitre is a slot. Jaquan Brisker, then Daxton Hill, then Nick Cross. All of them are relatively well balanced on their grades. So it's really who you like. But at this pick, Nakobe Dean is on the board. And I think that that is the best value available. Number 35 with the Jets. Safety is still on the board. Interior defensive line. Unfortunately, Lance likes the interior defensive lineman. Still considering Leo Chanel here. Offensive tackle-wise, not a fan. Tyler Smith could be a fun one, but again, not really in the mood to do that. I'm actually going to go after Lewis. We already went one DB, though. We got to go wide receiver here. Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. Can play on the boundary, can play in the slot. Now you have him and Elijah Moore. I think he can be a true wide receiver 1 if you want him to be. Number 36 with the New York Giants. To me, I would still consider Tyler Smith here. But again, we're trying to keep it a little bit more realistic. We're going Leo Chanel out of Wisconsin, a dude who is just tested out of totally tested off the charts. Big fan of what he could bring to the table, especially with the young fire that he has as a redshirt sophomore. Number 37, we got the Houston Texans. I don't know why I said that. Houston Texans edge rusher with David Ojabo could be a guy who I am a huge fan of getting. They already went after defensive line. Do we want to continue going that line route? No. Andrew Booth is on the board. We're going to get a nice zone corner for the Texans right there. Number 38 with the Jets. I think linebacker still is in that equation. I'm not going to do that, though. I'm going to look at a safety here. And Lewis Cine is going to be a day 1 impact on this roster. First round grade safety for me. I do like what he brings to the table. Number 39 with the Bears. I think that this is going to be Tyler Smith out of Tulsa. Again, you're getting a guy to replace James Daniels, and you can also have him potentially replace that right tackle spot. Do love what Tyler Smith could bring to this team. Number 40, wow, Zion Johnson's still on the board too, guys. We got to get him off the board ASAP. We're actually going to see, since there was one trade, we'll have one trade in this round. We're going to actually have a team trade up for Zion Johnson here because he should be going. I'm thinking about it, and I mean, I'm trying to see, maybe we could see the Packers moving up here. That wouldn't be a bad idea, especially since, like, we're not going to do it at this pick, but I mean, it's too good to pass on. David Ojabo is going to be a guy who I get for this team. I think that you're not in win now mode, and that just allows you to totally hitch your wagon to the future. And in 1 year, maybe when you have a franchise QB, this guy can actually be a day 1 impact for it. Not day 1 impact, but he could be a legitimate force on your defensive line. Him and Shelby Harris would be a nice addition. But for this pick, I want a team to trade up for Zion Johnson because they should. I'm looking at the Ravens right here who are looking for more of a center for the long run. Hell, I've heard even that the Vikings are in the market, but the non-tackle versatility is really why I took Tyler Smith at 39. Man, I'm trying to find a team that could actually want this. And I'm looking at the Packers here. I want to trade up with the Packers. The Packers have all these picks. You might as well use them properly. So Packers are going to be moving up here with the Seahawks. And yeah, I think that, I mean, a 4th round pick is about the correct value. So we're going to do that and allow the Seahawks to move back and acquire whoever the hell they want, whenever they want. This is going to be Zion Johnson out of Boston College. There are rumors that you could potentially, I know Abe Lucas actually went to the Packers as a visit, but I do think you can still move Elton Jenkins out to right tackle. Number 42, tackle is no longer an option. Corner, not really a great option either at the moment. And that's a little bit unfortunate. But wide receiver is looking nice. And we're going to go George Pickens here out of Georgia, getting a true wide receiver 1 to just lock down everybody. I do love what George Pickens can do on this roster. Number 43 with the Falcons. I would still consider a wide receiver here in Sky Moore, and I'm going to pull the trigger on it. Now you got Garrett Wilson and Sky Moore, and then in a future year, assuming he stays, you can obviously bring back Calvin Ridley, and now you have a legitimately complete wide receiver core full of some big ass playmakers. Huge fan of what that can bring to the table. Number 44, let's check to see who's on the board right now. Make sure nobody crazy is falling. We got some quarterbacks falling, but that is probably what's going to happen in the draft. And at this pick, I'm going to go for a day one edge impact. That's Arnold Ebiketie out of Penn State. Big fan of what he brings to the game as well. Definitely somebody who I would want on my team, especially when you're looking for that final piece in the edge room to make a Super Bowl run. 45 for the Ravens. Brian Asamoah is definitely someone who I want to consider here. Quay Walker as well. I do know that linebacker is a legitimate position to target for them. And I mean, honestly, that's probably the best thing you can do. I'm going to do that. I'm definitely down to Quay Walker right now and Brian Asamoah, but we're going to go away from the Oklahoma route. I need to move up Quay Walker on my board. Just a heads up. The ratings are not official anymore, even though this is official big board. Not official anymore. Quay Walker is going to be boosted up quite a bit. I think he'd be a nice addition on this Ravens defense. Number 46, this should have been a safety, and it's not because, I still have literally a blue chip player on my freaking board, and it's driving me insane. But corner is something that I would love to address on this team. And, I do think that Tariq Woolen brings a shit ton of upside. 6'4", 4'2", 640, everybody. This guy could be a game wrecker. Wide receiver is definitely still in the mix. I think that it's a very underrated position to target for the team. Perrion Winfrey would be a very fun option as well. Like you could just add in a dude who could be some really high upside pass rushing. That'd be fun. But I do think corner is a position that you bring Tariq Woolen in. He's super raw, yes. But at the same time, I think that he could just be absolutely spectacular if he gets trained up by Patrick Peterson, who decided to come back. So the hole is not extremely as gaping as maybe it was before Pat P came back. But now you have the future here with Tariq Woolen. Number 47 with Washington Commanders. I think that you got to go safety here. I think that strong safety is already taken on Cam Curl. You got to look for this free safety type. Dax Hill is the only free safety on the board. Jalen Pitre is going to be a slot more than anything. He's going to be a nickel corner. And I'd rather just go Dax Hill for this team. I think it's a great fit. It's really disgusting me that Jalen Pitre is still on the board because, again, I regard him very highly. Bears, though, we need to get a wide receiver here. We got offensive line. And Alec Pierce out of Cincinnati seems like a great dude to add in this later part of the second. 49 for the Saints. Tackle, oh my God, Daniel Filele had a horrible, I think it was a pro day. Like he ran like a five, it was something crazy, like a 5.6 or something like that. Like he did a horrible, like I already had him really low, but he's going down even lower. Like, wow. I heard rumors that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's going to be also moving to safety. Rip Honey Badge. We're going to go Jalen Pitre here. I do love what he could bring to the squad. And I mean, he's just a baller, man. Big fan of Jalen Pitre. For the Chiefs, I think a corner could be a really good addition. Martin Emerson, definitely somebody who I would want. I mean, you could go Roger McCreary, though. It's up to you. But for me, I'm going to go Martin Emerson. I do like his potential, especially at his young age right there. You see how old he is. He's also 6'2", 200 pounds. Could definitely be a good impact player. Eagles, you still got you have some great edge rushers on the board too. Nick Bonito would be an intriguing option at this point, but I think safety with Jaquan Brisker is I'll say this, hashtag can't miss prospect. Big fan of what Jaquan Brisker could bring to this team in the long run. For the Steelers, we got Kenny, and we still have all these QBs on the board, by the way. I would go with Sam Howell here again, but you can't do that. I would, man, it's a weird spot because I'm thinking about going after Nick Cross. I think I'm going to. This team's definitely still looking for a safety role, and I'm not comfortable with Roger McCreary being my corner one. I think Nick Cross has a lot of pieces he needs to continue to develop, but this is also the secondary that needs a lot of help, and Nick Cross can be that answer. 53, this is going to be Sam Howell. I know people don't like that pick, but honestly, you gained an extra 4th-round pick, and you still got a dude who I would consider at that point. Next pick, I mean, Desmond Ritter's also a hinted guy there, but Sam Howell has so much potential. Not saying Des doesn't, but I digress. This should probably be a linebacker. Brian Asamoah and Chad Muma and Troy Anderson are the dudes who I'm considering here. Quay Walker would have been in the equation as well. Corner, Roger McCreary is still on the board, and I do think that's a big position of need, and it is still pretty damn solid value. You got to go with that. You have to. The depth at linebacker is so much better than corner. You have to look at what's going to be there next round. Corner, as a corner potential 1, not going to be. Roger McCreary, sign me up for that. 55, I'm going to be going edge rusher here. It's Sam Williams or Myjai Sanders. Myjai didn't run that well, so I'm like, it was like 4, 6, 7. So for me, I'm actually going to be targeting Sam Williams here out of Ole Miss. 56 for the Cowboys. We went Bernard Ryman in round 1. So I think that probably trying to, we're not going to go quarterback. Don't worry, guys. Edge rusher to me is probably the position that I would want to target the most. Kingsley could be a fun one, but I'm going to go Myjai Sanders here. I do think that he's worth a round 2 pick. Again, he came back and he's back to normal weight, and he was really ill. I don't know why he didn't test again. I don't, but on the tape, you see the explosiveness, and that's something that that's all I really care about at this point. I feel like his numbers are statistical outliers, especially when you see how explosive he was at the Senior Bowl. 57 with the Bills. I think running back should be in the consideration at this point. Wide receiver as well, but I don't think anybody's worth it. Kenneth Walker, again, don't look at the numbers. Kenneth Walker's going to be moving up. I think that that'd be a great addition. The Falcons on the board, I think edge is a great position to go, but I'm going Desmond Ridder. There's no doubt in my mind. He's a day 1 ready quarterback. He can challenge immediately. You know, if Kenny Pickett, dude, I don't even know what's going to happen with Kenny Pickett, but Desmond Ridder going to be the guy right there. For the Packers, we already went Zion Johnson with Jordan Davis and Christian Watson, all pretty damn solid athletes. I think this is a good spot to potentially get someone like Nick Bonito to sit as an edge 3. Big fan of what he can bring to the table there. For the Buccaneers, I think this is a great spot to go Sean Ryan to be able to fill in a guard spot and also potentially move to tackle if need be. The 49ers, I think Dylan Parham's the guy who I want to potentially go here. Cole Strange as well. Funnily enough, I've been going the center route for a hot minute now, and you know, it was just funny to see that Cole Strange went to the Niners as a guard/center hybrid in Mel Kiper's 2-round mock draft, which I already did my mock the mock then what on that one. Cole Strange is definitely a dude I'm considering at this point. I think he'd be a great addition, and we haven't seen Dylan Parham legitimately in a consistent amount of games at his weight. So we're gonna go Cole Strange out of Chattanooga here. It's a big wit. It's a big potential swing of the bat, but it's somebody who definitely could be a nice role player for San Francisco. Number 62 with the Chiefs. I mean, honestly, Marcus Jones wouldn't be a bad slot corner. Not really that excited about that, though. I think that, running back's not even on the board, too. I might go another edge rusher here. Kingsley's going to be more ready day 1 to be in the Spag offense. But, dude, it's a weird spot. We're actually going to be going offensive tackle here. We're going to go Abraham Lucas out of Washington State to be that pure right tackle. Number 63 with the Bengals. This is going to be Trey McBride to be behind Hayden Hurst, and then allowing number 64, the Broncos, to be able to snag whichever linebacker they want. So we'll go with the true Mike potentially in Chad Muma. That is going to be the mock draft. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.